Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Hey, Crystal. Thank you for being here. Your girl Eve is running behind. The dentist took a lot longer than I thought it was, so sorry about that. As you all know, I'm sure there is breaking news that there was a media presser recently about Leilani Simon, the mother of missing Quinton Simon. She has been arrested for the murder of that sweet, innocent boy that you see on our screen here. And I did already, watch it on my way here. And I want to replay it because I missed a bunch of stuff. And I kind of want to break down what he said. And I didn't get to hear some of the questions that were asked by the reporters. So let me see who's all in the chat. Nay, nay. Hello, hello. Thank you, Crystal, for being here, honey. Nature lover forever. These are my peeps. Dory, thank you for being here. Yes, Fry, you evil little bitch, Margaret. That's right. I don't mind saying it. Hey, Lynn. Yeah, it's awful. Hermit say frog. Yeah, that's okay, Crystal. I unhid it, but that's okay. I want to go over the press release that they did with Chief of Police. There's something that I feel like I missed when listening. Sometimes during these pressers, you can understand more than what they're saying by what they don't say, right? So let me pull that up and let's just get into it. That poor baby. I cannot, I knew that they were going to find him. I knew they were going to find him soon. I just was really hoping that the landfill was a red herring and that wasn't actually where they were going to find him. That's an awful, awful place for anyone to be in. But just a little boy, not even 2 years old. Come on. Oh, hi, Linda. So let's get into it. Let's just listen again. So I know I missed a lot. I wonder where she was arrested from. I do have her, where is it? I have her mugshot. Thank you, Miss Crystal, for that. I appreciate you. Let's see where we put it. Where did I put it? I'm going to have to sync my Discord. But anyway, I'll get to that in just a second. Oh, this is brutal for me. You know how it is. I mean, these babies deserve so much better than the parents that they had and the family. Not just the parents, but my God, the whole family was dysfunctional and everybody around them. And there's just sometimes you're not going to win. And that's ridiculous.
This afternoon, Chatham County Police Department detectives arrested 22-year-old Leilani Simon and charged her with malice murder, concealing the death of another person, false reporting, and making false statements in connection with the disappearance and death of her son, 20-month-old Quinton Simon. Leilani Simon is being held at the Chatham County Detention Center and is awaiting a bond hearing. We do not anticipate any other arrests in this case. She has been the sole suspect from the beginning. On Friday, our search teams at the Waste Management Landfill found what they believed were human remains. This afternoon, the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia confirmed that they are, in fact, human remains. Additional testing, including a DNA analysis, is being conducted, and we have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quinton's. This is a heartbreaking development for everyone who loved Quinton, for the many people who came to know him after his disappearance, and for our department. When we first received the call that Quinton was missing, we were hopeful that we would find him alive and unharmed. But as we have been telling you for weeks, all of our evidence pointed to his mother being responsible for his death and disappearance and his remains being found in the landfill. I would like to thank the many people and agencies who worked hard to ensure that Quinton was found, that he would have a proper resting place, and that justice would be served. First and foremost, I want to thank the FBI. We are incredibly grateful for their invaluable assistance. Their expertise, their manpower, resources, and guidance are unmatched and were crucial in our efforts to find Quinton. They were on the scene within 3 hours of Quinton being reported missing and have assisted with every aspect of this investigation. The resources they poured into the landfill search are extraordinary and are the reason that we were able to find Quinton. I can't thank them enough. Chatham County Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division also deserves special recognition. Their devotion to Quinton, to making sure this crime did not go unsolved, is an example of police work at its finest. Our detectives worked tirelessly and were determined to follow every lead and uncover every piece of evidence in this case. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, and Department of Natural Resources all had officers searching the landfill alongside our officers and the FBI. The support of the Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, Chatham Emergency Services, Chatham Occupational Safety and Health, Savannah Police, and Savannah Fire also were invaluable in this massive effort. Finally, I would like to thank the many people who showed their support for our department during this incredibly difficult and important investigation. We appreciate those who kept faith in the system and waited patiently for evidence we needed to make sure Quinton has every opportunity to receive the justice he deserves. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Will Clark, who has some comments.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. He shows more emotion than she ever did authentically. Those big crocodile tears that she learned from her mama, Billy Joe. Yeah, didn't convince me not a bit, especially Billy Joe. I know I'm really hard on her, but it starts right there. You can tell. Watch Billy Joe boo-hooing and drinking her beer. I grew up around people like that. I know who they are. I know exactly what they're about. They don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. And I really hope they have charges for her. I'm sorry. I said what I said. She was supposed to make sure that those babies were safe and taken care of. And Quinton wasn't, especially, obviously, as we see. So again, they found human remains in the landfill that they assume is potentially Quinton, but they're waiting on DNA evidence to come back. I didn't hear anything about how, the manner of death or anything like that. Leilani, Leilani. Little line ass is what she is. I mean, Billy Joe outed her pretty quick and said that her baby was in a landfill, which is Quinton. And I assumed that that's what she meant. For the longest time, everybody was like, this is a red herring. And even I fell for that. But, because the landfill is usually like where everybody thinks if somebody is going to do this horrific crime, mothers especially, it's going to be in the landfill. I was assuming that's what Casey Anthony was going to do. For the longest time, I thought that she was discarded somewhere near one. But it was right by the home, How far is the landfill from the home? I never really checked. Savannah, Georgia landfill. I know what specific one it is, but it's the Superior landfill, right? Little Neck Road. Oh, is it? Is it that one? I was almost positive. No, it was Superior. So it's been a while since I've covered this. And it was, now I forgot where her address is. Buck Halter Road. It's been hard watching this case. It's been heartbreaking, especially, who being a part of it, 15 minutes away. So I'm guessing that they said that down the street she had put Quinton in a dumpster. Now, I did a reading and I didn't put it out there for y'all, but this Red Gate campground right here is what I saw. And I was asking my mods and the sleuths that I work with, I was like, go to a red gate, something with a red gate. And I couldn't research at the time. And I was like, something about a red gate. Well, here, I don't know where she allegedly put Quinton in the dumpster, or if she did, I don't know. I'm assuming. But this is what I saw right here. This area. I did. Hi, Casper Friendly. Cher should be apologizing to the babysitter and Danny. She is not going to apologize to anybody. Hi, Heather, sweetheart. How are you? Yeah, she's not going to do anything but do the whole, I was doing this to get close. I mean, come on. You can't come back from that. So you're going to have to, you know what I mean? You have to save face somehow, right? But yep, this is the area that I saw, and I think it was actually on the other side. But anyway, it's by a red building. Here it is. This is what I saw, y'all, for sure. This is where the area was. I don't know if it's even relevant or true, but this is just what I saw. Coming at the back end of this little area. That's what I saw. I stick by my story. That's what I saw. I don't know what they were doing there. Maybe they were in the woods behind it, but that's what I saw. So there's a Red Gate Farms horseback trail rides. Yep. I wonder if it's on the other side. Hold on. It was a trailer park. Well, okay. Maybe, but some shit was going down over here, I swear. Maybe. All alleged. That's just what I saw. Maybe somebody met up with her after that. I don't know. But I never released that one because I just wanted to respect, Yeah, it was a trailer park. Okay. That's awful. Ugh, awful. But maybe that's where they met up at one time. Whoever, I think I've seen multiple people. That little piece of shit that she was seeing. But entertainment purposes only, everyone is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. What about her boyfriend that took off? Right, yeah, I see him totally being involved. And actually, somebody else that's part of the family, but we won't go there. All right, let's continue.
Good evening. My name is Will Clark. I'm the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI. 1 month ago, we began this landfill search alongside Chatham County Police Department with one purpose in mind, and that was to find Quinton and to bring him home. On Friday, search crews from the FBI and Chatham County found what we preliminarily believe are partial remains from a human child. Those bones were immediately sent to our lab in Quantico, Virginia.
Now when? Hold on, I'm sorry, I missed.
Preliminarily believe we began this landfill search alongside Chatham County Police Department with one purpose in mind, and that was to find Quinton and to bring him home. On Friday, search crews from the FBI and Chatham County found what we preliminarily believe are partial remains from a human child. Those bones were immediately sent to our lab in Quantico, Virginia. Additional testing for potential confirmation is now underway. It could be days.
So that's why they stopped the search. Because they already knew.
What happened to this 20-month-old child is unthinkable. No child should be harmed by anyone, let alone the person in their lives that should be their protector. This investigation does not end here. There is more work to do. The FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, will continue to find justice for Quinton. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll appreciate that. And we'll try to answer some questions that you may have. Just be mindful that there's many we may not be able to answer, but we'll be willing to take some questions at this time.
Did you tell anybody that you guys found bones in the landfill? Is that
We found human remains, yes, ma'am.
Chief, do you believe the report that Quinton was put in that dumpster, do you believe that he was alive then or had died before he was in the dumpster and had made it to the landfill?
Could you, I didn't hear the first part, I'm
Do
sorry.
you believe that Quinton Simon was alive when he was in the landfill? Do you believe he died before he was put in that dumpster?
I can't answer that question.
You've charged Leilani with murder. Can you speak on whether you think it was accidental or intentional?
I can't speak to that.
Can you talk a little bit about what
Right on, right on.
learned on Friday led you all to go ahead and make that arrest specifically for today versus earlier on?
Well, as we had said from the beginning with the landfill, we had every belief that Quinton was there in the landfill. Having found what we found on Friday and the preliminary findings from the FBI that we got today led us to make an arrest today. We feel that we have a very strong case. We have put thousands of hours into this, and we believed that this was the right move today to be able to do that.
No worries, Crystal.
She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly, if I can go off script a little bit.
Preach.
Quinton deserves that.
Ooh, preach, sir. I love this ass. You know me. Put some sass in this ass because he ain't lying. She doesn't deserve anything but those cold bars. I hope that the withdrawals are intense, and I hope that it drags out for as long as possible. That's what I want. Sure do. Any crime against a child. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to suffer. I do. That's why you're in jail. That's why you're in prison. And your baby's not alive.
You said that you didn't believe any other arrests would be made. Are you guys looking into Billy Joe at all?
We are not.
And so you just confirm and kind of clarify that you all were looking to find some sort of remains from the bodies. Go ahead and move forward with the arrest.
That's correct.
Chief, would the charges have been the same in this case had you not made that discovery on Friday? Say if this case had continued and the search found nothing in the landfill, would you still have been able to make a case for Quinton to have justice, or how significant was this find?
Well, it was very significant, obviously, for obvious reasons. We do believe
Hey,
we had a strong
Tails.
case otherwise, but that would have been in counsel with the Chatham County District Attorney's Office, but we believe we had a strong case otherwise.
You've certainly been very personal about this, and you said in that landfill that day with the picture behind you, you said, we want to make sure we bring Quinton home and we give him a final place of rest. You wanted him to be able to make sure he wasn't in that dump. On Friday, how personal was that find for you?
Well, it was very personal, quite frankly. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that. I mean, knowing the hard work that went into this investigation, everybody, not just Chatham County Police Department, but everybody that chipped in, the FBI, GBI, DNR, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, the civilians, you name it, from A to Z, we were 100% committed to bringing justice for Quinton. And to appreciate the amount of human effort, the amount of human emotion that goes into a case like this, and to appreciate, hopefully,
Me
that,
too, Cats.
this comes to a conclusion in terms of a conviction and things of that nature. You have a lot of emotions about that. You also have a lot of emotions as just a general human being, as a person who has children. You see the impact that has on people. So if you step back and take a moment to kind of absorb that, I think that
He has been
if you
crying,
didn't
in
have
my
any feelings
opinion.
about that, you might have to ask yourself a few questions.
That's right.
Evidence collected outside of the search in the landfill, the remains that you guys found on Friday, was there any evidence you guys found of the searches you guys did of pool, cell phones, or computers, or anything that also led to the arrest?
I can't hear that question anyway, but I could not imagine having to see some of these heinous things that happen to children, to people, but especially children on a day-to-day basis sometimes, especially in these metropolitan areas. I applaud law enforcement who do their job, who utilize the training that they are required to have. Things aren't like what they used to be, where you could go barge into somebody's home and be like, where's your son? You have rights, and that's something that, we have to abide by, or law enforcement has to abide by. But sometimes it takes a long time, especially in certain states like Idaho, for instance. They're very gung-ho about your rights and search warrants and things like that. So their laws are a little bit different. But, I think it hinders. I think time is what hinders these babies' investigations. I think that there needs to be change when it comes to a child, a missing child, you know? However, it's going to, the things that I suggest would hinder your rights. And so you can't do that, right? So, but like for me, you should consent to a search warrant if it's a young child that can't defend for themselves. They could have wandered on your property. We don't care about your pot peepaw. We don't care about your whatever. If you have something to hide, then obviously it would be an issue, right? But if it's a little child, that somebody could have put on somebody's property or whatever it may be, all bets are off, whatever crimes you see besides murder or something like that should just not be an issue. But that's just not how it works here. And God, there's so many things I could rattle on all day. But maybe if there was a change in that, justice would be more swift, first of all, and the families wouldn't suffer. We have to think about the people around the case who didn't have anything to do with these babies' deaths, like, Quinton or Cody Bixby, et cetera, et cetera. That is torture to me. Having to wait and wait and wait for justice. That's a problem. So you have to kind of outweigh what's more important, justice for the baby or, peace of mind and to heal and continue on with your life, especially if you have other children. It's kind of one of those things. But that's just pure torture. And I don't feel bad for Billy Joe or none of those people either. She did that to herself. She tortured herself by raising that heifer who has no moral compass. So I don't feel bad.
Can't answer that.
Has Leilani's status as a flight risk changed, or did it change prior to the arrest?
No.
Chief, you said this is preliminary. You would assume there isn't other human remains in that landfill, but until you get it fully 100% confirmed that these are Quinton's remains, what makes you confident to make the arrest today?
I can't get into the high level of detail, but just on some of the preliminary information that we got from the FBI, we have a high level of confidence that those are Quinton's remains. And we felt that we needed to make the arrest today because that was the right thing to do.
Thank you.
What kind of remains are we talking when you say human remains? Any more specific details about
No, ma'am.
MC, I wish I did.
This case has been one that has made national news. There's been a lot of pressure against you personally, with your name out of the mouths of protesters, out of the mouths of people in the community. You've gotten a lot of pressure about making this arrest. Standing here today and knowing that you have this key piece of evidence that you just said, what kind of message do you send to the community? For the people, A, that had your back and said, yes, we're going to wait on the police to do this, and then to the people who said this arrest should have happened almost 50 days ago?
Well, I didn't honestly feel a lot of pressure, quite frankly, only because I believed in our investigative process, the expertise that we were seeking that was around us, having a little bit of experience, in this profession. I understood people's perspective. I understood that, some people had their own strong feelings about when an arrest should be made and things that were going on. But we stayed focused on what we know and what we know how to do. And in conjunction with the FBI, we stayed the course. And so to those folks that supported us, to the citizens that believed in us and believed in our department, I thank you. And for those that had questions, that's their right to do so. This is America. You can have all the opinions you want. But, I'm just so proud of our team and where we're at today.
As far as today's conclusion, do you feel like there's a sense of
You can tell that man has seen some things that he didn't want to see, and all of the bullshit that he had to trudge through with the protesters and all of that craziness. I can guarantee you that they didn't necessarily need YouTubers to find Quinton's remains. They were already going to search in that landfill. They already had that planned out. They already probably was getting geofencing data, geolocations. They did not need the bullshit, y'all. They didn't need it, and the law enforcement doesn't need it to continue either. That shit's got to stop. 100% has to stop.
relief as far as you all, officers, FBI agents, to come to an arrest to go ahead and move forward with this case?
Sure there is. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that there was, some weight lifted off of the organization and particularly those detectives and investigators who were completely and 100% committed to seeking justice for Quinton. So there is a little bit of relief, but be mindful there's still a lot of work to do, and they're dedicated to doing that, and we want to see this to successful prosecution.
I got it, Carter. Is the landfill search over?
We haven't made that decision yet. That's a decision point that we'll come to once we're able to get some more analysis done, and we'll confer with the FBI and see what the best course of action is.
And then Leilani is also charged with making false statements. What false statements did she make?
I can't get into that.
Is she cooperating with police right now? Is Leilani cooperating?
I'll tell you. I can tell you right now what I believe that charge is, making a false statement. The 911 call stating that he was there and then he wasn't. Trying to do an alleged falsely report an alleged abduction, because what does Eve talk about and slam down people's throats all the time? The case study. She fit that case study just like Casey Anthony fit that case study. The one that I found from 2011 that we're trying to get a new updated one from the author. Which I hope is on its way. She fit it so well, I could vomit. The only difference was that her partner, they weren't married. Dawn and Candace 100% fit that case study to a T, just like this woman. So, and Oakley Carlson's parents, same thing. That case study is a godsend. And I hope that they use that case study, because these crimes against children, especially since COVID, has increased. And it's not going to stop unless these parents, these druggy ass parents, don't get it together and know that law enforcement knows that these things are becoming so frequent now that you're not going to get away with it. Some have. I think parents have been getting away with murdering their children for a very long time. All these missing children, I think some of them, maybe even most of them, allegedly, has something to do with a direct family member or caregiver. I do. All you have to do is look at the case study and see the consistencies throughout the case. Now, there's obviously going to be variance and all that shit, but I think it happens more than we think, guys. I really do. Yeah, there's a case study that I have on my channel. It's called False Alleged Abductions that turned out to be the parents murdering their children or caregivers. It kind of, mostly it's the mothers. This is the ironic thing. I thought it would be the fathers, but it's typically married couples where the mom incites it. And then it's the male caregiver, mostly dads. And then every once in a while, very slim chance, it's, a step parent or a lover or whatever. Or somebody that's taking care of the child or children. And man, Casey Anthony fits it. Leilani fits it probably almost as good as Candace and Dawn. The only thing missing is the other half. Where is the boyfriend and why is he involved? Did he have direct knowledge of something that happened to him? I feel like there's more to it for sure. The chief said it himself. We still have work to do. Baby Lisa, Baby Dior, absolutely. Look at there was another one. I can't remember her name. I just went over her. But Haley Cummings. Stepmama came in, the dad, right? They still haven't found her yet. But they were some druggy ass thugs. And we all know that. I mean, they are so similar. It's just a specific type of evil breed, I'm telling you, that has the consistencies. And if they would just slam this down law enforcement and detectives' throats and minds, they would probably catch on a lot quicker. But I think that there's a lot of junky, terrible parents that don't murder their children too. So it's very hard I would think that this would be the hardest thing to do a behavioral analysis on people or a profiling. Because it's parents. You're supposed to trust your parents. You're supposed to take care of your kids. And these people aren't. And it takes that one accident or one bad hangover or whatever to change them from bad druggy ass parents to murderers, right? Or financial hardships or an affair, right? Environmental factors are also a big part of it.
She's at the Chatham County Detention Center right now.
But I think Billy Joe is just as culpable as Leilani. What do you think? If you think that Billy Joe is just as culpable in this as her daughter, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't.
So I want to go back to the initial question that I asked about whether or not you found bones in the landfill, because it looked like there's no bones, and you said human rights. Which one was it?
Well, human remains. Some of that, are, some of them are human bones, and some other evidentiary matters.
And as far as the bond, is there do you all have any updates as to when that will be the bond hearing, when that will be there?
I do not have that confirmed.
Oh, damn, you're right,
I'll take
Crystal.
this tomorrow, but I don't have any time or any confirmation on that. We did, take her to the detention center rather late in the day, so I'm sure that information will come out pretty soon.
Leilani made a statement to me that she would turn her.
Respect your opinion, Lauren. Absolutely respect it.
No. Right.
Chief, you said in the beginning that when we were at the landfill, you said that there was a very specific dumpster that this child was put in. Can you just give us the location of that? How far this was from the house where Quinton was last seen?
I can't give you that information.
I just have one more question. Can you just give
Last
us
question.
an estimate on how long this analysis could take for what you guys found?
It could take up to a week. And I have one last comment, and I want to thank you guys.
Oh, sweetheart.
Because
Oh,
just like sometimes law enforcement
Good
gets
Lord.
the short end of the stick, you guys get the short of the stick too. And you guys have been amazing. Our
Yep.
local media throughout this. You've been fair, you've been direct, you've asked good questions, and you've, given us some deference when we needed some deference. And so I just wanted to say thank you for your work that you do every day. Thank you.
he was so upset. He went the whole ass other way. Poor thing. Good Lord. I do give him credit. I had faith in him. Just looking at him, I thought he's going to do good things. He's going to do this right. I looked at YouTubers and went, oh, hell, you're going to, where's my beep beep? You're going to this shit up. Oh, this up. I'm terrible at this. It's the worst. I'm the worst. I don't even know why I have it. But it's the truth. It's the truth. It's what happened. And y'all better stop it. Or I'll be the anti-hero up in here. Protesting protesters. A voice for the missing and a voice for shitty ass, Let me get my mic. Get my bullhorn. I'm a mess, Express. I'm sorry. But seriously, enough. Oh, please stop. It's not cute. It's not cute. Yes, Crystal, I did this for you, sweetheart. It's an inside thing. Michael Vaughn's case. Not to say she shouldn't be charged with something, but not guilty of murdering the child. Her daughter, flat backed for her. Yeah, and I don't mean like murder, but I think neglect and failure to protect that child in some way. But those charges are so hard, to convict when someone else does something like that. I get it. In a lot of cases, you don't even see charges come flying down for anybody else. Some states, though, they do. Like, I'm surprised in Georgia. Look, Georgia does not give a. They will charge you. All right? They will. So I wouldn't be surprised if they charge her with something to make an example out of her, because this can't keep going. And I wish they would. Hey, Mr. Eve. Yeah, child endangerment. So I that's all I can say on that. They need to make an example out of her, because this can't keep going. All right. I wanted to talk about the Idaho murders first, the Moscow murders, where the 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death. Now, I don't know if y'all saw my video that I made, but if you didn't, I'm just going to play it for you. I found something that I wasn't seeing on Twitter. It was somebody was doing some journalism and recording the freaking crime scene people that were in the home, taking DNA swabs and stuff, and it was just horrific to watch. But I did see a handprint on the glass, and I was like, holy shit, I hope that they, lifted that handprint and those fingerprints, and I'm sure they did, and that's why it was so there. Like, you could see it. But it's kind of creepy. And it looks like a big old handprint, like somebody has their hand against the window, either trying to, like, see what's going on in the house. I'm going to play it for you. It's so scary to me. Like, serial killer, 4 people. There's just so much to this case that it's still making my mind spin. That's for sure. Absolutely. All right, 1 second. Do y'all see that? Horrible. Oh, is that Mr. Eve? Mm-hmm. Always be calling or coming in the door. Hey. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, guys. He got a new toy today, so he had to show his mama. But y'all see that? I had to put the filter on it for it to really stick out. And I researched online, you can actually tell like the race and age and sex of a predator or a victim from their handprint. Like, you can do all that stuff. And if it's not a very good handprint or fingerprint, you could do thermal analysis on it, where it kind of heats up those particles, that your DNA, and it really shines. So I thought that was really, really interesting. So I don't know if this was something that they had already dusted before or didn't notice it, but this is what it really looks like. Right there. So I can't tell if it was dusted or not. Epithelial DNA, yes. There it is. I don't know. Hopefully they did, but it's just so scary to just think that you're sitting there, going to get a drink or something or whatever it may be, and there's a dude or a predator looking at you with his handprint on the damn thing. Or maybe that's, somebody's handprint opening the door. I don't know. Right? But they said there was no sign of forced entry. So she was in rehab, simple truth. Oh, Toddler Eve, yeah. Oh, Mr. Eve. Did you read something on the footprint? It seems that after they found that the restricted area was extended right. I didn't read that yet. So I hope that, you know, if somebody is watching who has murdered these innocent college kids, you know, you were obviously sloppy from what police is saying. And if you're watching my video, I hope that you read that. They will. 100% will. Because you done messed up with your sloppiness. And maybe that was on purpose. I don't know. Yeah. I do too. He's a turkey. Yep. So that's all I have to say. Like, I haven't heard any other updates that are just non-speculative. Everything else seems to be speculation. I don't want to get into that because, my God, we saw the Kylie Rodney case. I don't want to have that again and have it about 4 innocent college kids. 3 beautiful ladies and a very handsome man young man who had a lot going for him. All of them did. So I just don't want to go there, right? Anyone heard about someone being passed out from shock of the murder scene? Yep, on the front lawn. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but that was a rumor, at least, that... Whoops. Yep, that somebody had passed out from pure shock. Now, again, I don't know if that's true. Law enforcement has not said any of that, so nope, right, like that, I'm not going to say that it's even worth mentioning right now, right? All right, last but not least, as you know, I love deep diving into the Michael Vaughan case. I want justice for him. A lot of things have come to light about Sarah and Stacy Wandra. There's just so many questions. And the one thing that I wanted to bring up, guys, is that when they showed up at her home on 1102 Red Wing, it was a search warrant. It wasn't to arrest her. It was only a search warrant. All right. So then I started thinking about it when she went on to her psychobabble. Oh, God told me that Stacy did it. Or Stacy told me he did it, and then corrected herself and said, God told me, right? Whatever the case may be, however she said it, whatever. She was arrested because of that, not because they were on their way to get her for murder or to any charge. It was a search warrant that ended up being an arrest because of her crazy talk. And there could be some value to it. She could just be batshit crazy, which I do believe. She's obviously been in and out of mental institutions for quite a while. I think JLR had a photo of her in the middle. I don't know where he got it from, but there's a photo that she was like in the middle of her driveway, just laying there. She could have had a problem with her health. Who knows? But, you know, it doesn't surprise me about the hearing today that they had on Stacy. Or excuse me, Sarah, not Stacy. Sorry, Sarah Wandra. I believe that she was not competent to stand trial. So let me look at the update and make sure I have it right. Oh, treatment was ordered. Wow. Oh, and by the way, bond was denied for Miss Leilani. Sorry I had to jump in between cases, but comments with these screen. I just got your Discord message, Crystal. Oh, there's her mugshot, y'all. That is a cold-hearted Right there. Mm-hmm. Girl, bye. Okay, let's get back to Michael. Sorry. Yep, so treatment was good old KTVB7 with your 8 billion ads. Payette County judge on Monday issued a commitment order for Sarah Wandra, who's charged with failure to report a death. All right. I don't want to speculate too hard on the Adrian guy and all that other stuff because I'm not going there for a lot of different reasons. Let's just say that. Tomorrow is a preliminary hearing. Oh, it's already been vacated. That's right. That would make sense because she gone because of a commitment order. Because of the fitness to proceed, she ain't mentally fit right now. And she hasn't been, in my opinion, for her to be. I mean, look at her TikToks. Go to my live. She cray. And I wonder sometimes if that was kind of intentional, maybe. I'm not in the mindset of, or know anything that law enforcement does, right, behind the scenes, but it just makes me wonder, you know? The face of my hand caught in the cookie jar expression. Right? Crystal says, I still have the same 2 questions. Let me go back up. I have the same 2 questions for Michael's case. How did no one see the folks digging a hole? Same. And 2, how did the dogs not track his scent if they searched that area so well? Yeah, well, I have a theory on that. He was never there at all, or he was moved around. Do you know how hard that would be? And horrific that would be to do that. I don't think he ever made it over there. And if he did, it was for a very, 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 very short time, potentially. I don't think he's there. I could be wrong. This just feels a little too set up to screw somebody over vibes. And it could be the neighbors. It could be somebody, who knows? It could be anybody. You know, they're an easy target, first of all, especially 1100, which is the Starkeys, who are RSOs, right? And some pretty heinous crimes against children. So they would be a target, easy target, right? And maybe somebody just didn't understand that it was 1100. And they put it, you know, something happened at 1102. I don't know. Maybe they planted evidence. It happens. People get set up sometimes. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all why it turned out to be just a search warrant because of a tip and then an arrest because she's not fit, mentally not fit. I mean, she said it all the time on her TikToks that God was telling her this, that, and the other all the time. However, I will say this. I will say that she has basically spilled out testimony of what I think she knows about. I do think that she knows something. I do feel like there is something to this Stacey Wandra, you know, maybe helping a friend. I don't know, because of what we heard with the leaked information from the docket. But it does not make any sense for it to be so close, right? So close, 4 minutes away. Maybe 4 minutes. And a 4-minute walk, I think. Why would you put a child there who you abducted or potentially harmed? They need to be looking the other way, in my opinion, where you're not going to be seen, in my opinion, as easily, even if you're noticed more. There's cameras on Whitley and Southwest 8th. There are cameras going towards the highway. You're going to be seen, bro. You would want to go the opposite way. Maybe some farm roads, which, good Lord, I'm not doing it today. I'm not going to go over that today. I've gone over it plenty. But what I'm getting at is, what is this honing in on this area? What does law enforcement know? What theories could potentially think about that makes the most sense? And the only thing that I could think of is there is a specific maybe evidence or tip that brought them there that is undeniable. Maybe a Facebook post, maybe a text to somebody. Because it said that, the tip came from someone that resided inside the house. Well, I've got TikToks of, Sarah Wandra saying that the ex-wife of a neighbor was staying with them. And that's when things started to go downhill and her husband wasn't being as godly as he was supposed to, and problems in their marriage. So with a lot of scriptures, whew, Lord, she knows her scripture. I'm gonna tell you all that. But it was very cryptic and very intentional, the quotes of the Bible that she put out there. And I kept reading it, and she was basically telling her story and her husband's story and the people that were around her. Whether she meant to or not, I don't know, but I feel like it was very intentional. That's just my opinion. But when she said there was a neighbor, and we don't know which one, it could be the Starkeys, it could be someone else. But she said that her neighbor's ex-wife started staying with them. I think that people started coming around that weren't good people. And I think that they were taken advantage of over there on 1102 Red Wing. I do. Because they don't seem like, especially Sarah Wandra, does not seem like the type who could say no because God wants her to help people. You know what I mean? Out of the kindness of her God-loving and fearing heart, she has to say yes. She gives me those vibes. She gives me very codependent vibes. Can't really think for herself on that level. And that's why God was such a big, important role, especially after Michael went missing. But I could just be making stuff up to justify the lack of understanding in this. I don't get it. I just don't understand the angle here. I don't. Mr. Eve, she's great, and I enjoy her channel very much. Oh, thank you, nature lover. I appreciate you. I'm trying to be as authentic as I can without overstepping my boundaries on YouTube and their policies. Tone it down on the cussing, but I am who I am. Sassy Southern wench, I guess. Yeah. I am who I am. Speaking of yams, I hope everyone, if I don't do a live by Thanksgiving, I should. But if I don't, I hope that everybody has a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving surrounded by your family. And if you aren't surrounded by family, you know that you have family here on this channel. And feel free to always reach out if you ever need anything, need someone to talk to. There's always a way. All right? Oh, Texas. Woot woot. All my exes live in Texas. Awesome. Love you, Heather. She even says that in TikTok that her husband was surrounding himself with bad people. She said it. She sure did. And that has something to do with it. That has something to do, she even posted a picture of that Brandon guy, which I'm not going to go into details on. But, there was some habitual, intentional things she was doing, because I think that even her intuition was, her red flags were going off with these people that they were surrounding, at least Stacy, the husband. So I don't know. I think that we need to slow our roll and hold on to our booty cheeks. Okay. As I say, because I think that this is just the beginning of a long and crazy ride. I think that we have a little bit more time. And law enforcement has a good, 3 months now, because she has to go into state care for treatment. So that's what, another 90 days to do what they need to do. So I think that we have a long road, or at least a 90-day road, more of craziness. So chill out on the bash Eve and Harsh and everybody who dare question the inconsistencies, because it ain't over yet. It's a I don't know for me with the hate, but just I don't know that I'm watching, listening, and taking a lot of notes. And I'm not going to stoop to the level that these other people are doing, because it's just damn disgusting. And you reap what you sow, right? Ooh, just going to say that. See, it's a I don't know from me. I love anything potatoes. From the looks of my thighs, I would have to agree. Oh no. All right. Well, then I guess I better get off of here. Me and Mr. Eve have got to work on the studio. I can't wait for it to be done so that I can show everybody the finality of the damn stuff we've been working on with that. I'll give you a sneak peek though. I got a few photos that I can share. I'll just put it in like a little short. It's so cool. I can't wait. All right, guys, have a great, great evening. Justice for Quinton Simon. Leilani Simon, you can go rot in hell, and I hope you do. But first in that jail cell for a very long time, and then in hell. Justice for Michael Vaughan and all of these babies that are missing. And my heart goes out to the Idaho murder victims and their families. I'm so sorry. But they will be caught. The perp or perps will be caught. They were not very good at being clean about this. They're going to get caught. I have faith in them, in law enforcement. All right, guys. You know, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Hug all of your family members for Thanksgiving. Be grateful and be thankful. And I will see you guys on the next live. Bye.
What?